I always wanted to play the piano. When I was 5 or 6 years old, I told my parents, okay, I need a piano. It was really hard to get one. So my father ended up with some friends carrying a upright piano to the 4th floor of an apartment in Konstanz, where I grew up. So I studied in Stuttgart, classical piano. And in the day, I was a classical student. In the evening, I was a jazz aficionado. I was always very interested in tone color. I was fascinated by colors of instruments, by orchestras and choirs. And I was trying to get this out of my piano. And one way to do it was to incorporate electronics. And of course, I envied the guitar players with their pedals, with their distortions and reverbs and delays. So it was a very logical step to try that, to make my piano, and a fascinating world opened up to me, being a piano player and having these new sounds available. The breakthrough was the moment when I started working with the gloves. As a pianist, you play on the keys, and as an electronic musician, you always touch something. You touch a fader, you touch your trackpad, you touch a knob or something. And suddenly, my hands were free. Once you have finished, let's say, an analog composition, and you just build the electronic on top of it, it's a possibility, but it kind of limits you. So maybe in this first composition you discover a certain digital possibility or a technological possibility for a song, and then you compose the second song with this experience in mind. Of course, I'm a lot inspired by music, by my heroes, and they come from very different, let's say, genres or spheres. It could be Igor Stravinsky, who has influenced me tremendously with his energy, with his colorful writing. It can also be Stevie Wonder, who's just from a standpoint of songwriting and performing to me is one of my dearest. And of course, Radiohead, that I cover a song from. There's so many different influences, musically spoken. I'm inspired a lot about architecture, because I think what I'm doing here has a lot to do with creating forms, creating functioning structures that are aesthetic and that are poetic in a certain way. I need my time to develop my stuff. I really need to think about things deeply, and this is what I really can do, walking through nature, going on a hike in the mountains, walking around. And it's very nice to have this in front of your house, to have a possibility to get in a complete remote situation within minutes, and then go back to your piano or to your setup and be ready to create. That's very important for me. PYANOOK is all about crossing boundaries. It's playing an instrument of large tradition with modern day technology, with electronic and digital sound. I can move the music in the air with the gloves, and I can control the visual scenery that is set by Pietro Calarelli. We are interacting musically, visually, and that's just a beautiful setting to explore. I want to make really good music from the heart, deep music, but I also want to show that all this digital world is not just something that is exploited in a commercial way or in a way that makes you scared of the future, but has immense possibilities. So I want to use technology in a very poetic way.